They were the strongest riders in the world, and still, nobody moved. Not because they didn't want to, but because they couldn't. Every breath is sharp, dust mixing with sweat and nerves. Wheels skip sideways on loose stones, the sound of rubber and grit echoing in the cold air. Pogacar moves left, just a half meter, but it's enough. The pack stretches, eyes wide behind mirrored lenses, jaws clenched. Nobody says a word. The only thing louder than the wind is the silence. No shouted warnings, no frantic gear changes, just the whir of chains and the distant call of a team radio. A helmet cam catches a flicker of panic. One rider glances over his shoulder, searching for help that isn't coming. Pogacar's cadence rises, smooth, relentless. The others try to follow, but the gravel spits up, and their faces twist, caught between pain and disbelief. The drone shot from above shows the gap opening, white dust hanging in the air, a line of world-class riders suddenly scattered, powerless. For those inside the pack, it's a moment of realization. He's not just attacking, he's breaking the rhythm, breaking their will. Every second grows heavier. The group shrinks, strung out and silent, as Pogacar disappears up the road. No one moves, not because they don't want to, because they can't. Numbers tell the truth that eyes can barely process. Monte Santa Maria, Strade Bianche, 2026. Pogacar throws down 6.7 watts per kilogram. Raw power, straight from the Garmin data, not rumor. The surge lasts just 28 seconds. At 10 seconds, the gap is 4 seconds. At 5 minutes, it is 38 seconds. World-class riders, Pidcock, Jorgensen, and Sixus, are left gasping, dropped one by one, their names flickering on the timing screen as they lose contact. The peloton tries to regroup, but the math is merciless. No one claws back a single meter. The gap is not just time, it is a verdict. It is what happens when a rider turns the screw and the rest break, not from lack of will, but from the hard ceiling of their own power. The telemetry does not blink. Gear drops to 44 by 22, cadence kicks to 24 revolutions per minute, and the line stretches out behind him like a fracture through the field. Team radios crackle with desperation. Pogacar, go! You have the gap! Push! They are scrambling. Later, he shrugs in the press room, dust still on his face. He says he felt the gravel bite and knew the peloton would hesitate. He kept the cadence high and let the gradient do the work. That is the realization. The chaos is not random. It is calculated, measured in watts and seconds. And for everyone else, it is a problem with no answer. Côte de la Redoute, 35 kilometers from the line. The group is tight. Van der Poel, Jorgensen, Sixus, all packed on the climb, legs twitching, waiting for the punch. The wind cuts across the road, pushing riders to the gutter. Pogacar glances down, drops his chain to the 53 by 15 gear, and in a single motion, stands and unleashes. The cadence jumps, 92 revolutions per minute, almost machine-like. The on-screen gap meter blinks, 4 seconds at 10 seconds, 12 seconds at 30. Van der Poel tries to hold the wheel, but his face goes blank, shoulders rocking, power meter dipping to 4.5 watts per kilo. Pogacar doesn't even look back. The crosswind rips through the group. Riders hesitate, then look at each other. Nobody wants to chase. Nobody wants to burn matches this early. The gap stretches. Broadcast graphics flashing red. 12 seconds, then 18. By the summit, it is 22. Van der Poel is gone, dropped and drifting backwards, eyes wide in disbelief. Jorgensen and Sixus try to organize, but the group is already splintered. Pogacar settles into the saddle, holding 5.9 watts per kilo, breathing steady, legs still spinning at 92 revolutions per minute. The move is surgical. The damage is instant. The rest are left in the wake, shaken by how fast inevitability arrives. Col de la Loze, Tour de France, Stage 14. The road tilts skyward, 9 kilometers from the summit. The air is thin, the group is raw with nerves. Pogacar's UAE teammates have been drilling the pace for an hour, peeling rivals one by one until only the favourites remain. Then, just as the gradient bites and the last domestique swings off, Pogacar shifts. The numbers spike, 7.0 watts per kilogram, a figure that belongs in a lab, not on a mountain road. He stands, surges. The gap forms instantly. 7 seconds at 10 seconds, 14 at 30. The camera pans back, Vingegaard, Roglič, Van Aert, each with their own team, each suddenly alone. No one jumps. They stare at each other, waiting for someone else to burn matches. The radio static is thick, but the only sound that matters is the ticking clock. UAE's setup is complete. Their work is over. Now it's just Pogacar and the mountain. For the next 9 kilometers, he holds the gap, never looking back. The power stays high, the cadence steady. The chase group tries, but the gap is unbridgeable. The finish line comes with a 28-second margin. The graphic on the broadcast shows the gap stretching, then freezing. Proof that the race was decided the moment he launched. The endurance engine isn't just about numbers, it's about making the impossible look routine. When rivals finally react, it's too late. The damage is done before anyone even moves. Stage 13, Tour de France. The clock hits 22:40 on the broadcast. Pogacar is up the road, but the real story is behind him. Jonas Vingegaard's team, Joker Energy, sits on the front, 5 riders all glancing sideways, legs twitching, radios crackling with static. For 45 seconds, nothing happens. No one commits. The chase train stalls, wheels overlap, and the gap starts to bleed seconds. A clipped radio call slices through. We need to go deeper, but we're unsure. The hesitation is visible. Riders look at each other, waiting for someone to sacrifice, but nobody jumps. Pogacar's lead ticks upward, almost in real time. A gap that started as a handful of meters becomes a canyon. The peloton's body language collapses, heads drop, shoulders sag, the line loses all shape. By the time someone finally pulls, the damage is irreversible. After the finish, Vingegaard stands in front of the press, his voice flat. We saw him go, and there was nothing we could do. Every time we tried to organize, the gap was already growing. The words hang in the air, as heavy as the silence on the road. It's not just legs that crack, it's belief. When Pogacar attacks, rivals don't just lose time, they lose hope. That's the edge no training plan can close. Pogacar's threshold sits between 415 and 450 watts. That's 6.3 to 6.8 watts per kilogram, depending on the day and the scale. For most riders, that's the ceiling. For him, it's the starting point. His VO2 max hovers between 71 and 77 milliliters per kilogram per minute. That's the oxygen haul of a world-class engine, the kind of number that puts him in a league with the legends. But raw power is only half the story. What matters is how long he can hold it and how little it costs. That is endurance. Every solo attack, every surge on gravel or tarmac, burns through glycogen at a rate of 1.5 grams per minute. That means muscle stores can vanish in under an hour if he doesn't feed. So he does. Gels every 15 minutes and a bottle on every climb. It's not just about going hard, it's about never letting the tank run dry. His mechanical efficiency on climbs reaches 22%, squeezing more speed from every calorie than anyone else in the field. On the bike, the numbers are ruthless. 415 watts for an hour, 525 watts for 20 minutes, 800 watts for a minute. Most riders fade. Pogacar's power curve barely bends. The data says what rivals won't. His dominance isn't a fluke. It's built, measured, and repeatable. But every time he goes this deep, it's a gamble with his own limits. The only question is whether anyone else can force him to pay the price. There is only one playbook left: combine forces or keep losing alone. History remembers the rare days when rivals set aside team colours and hunted as one. At Paris-Roubaix in 2016, 3 squads lined out on the cobbles, relay style, never letting the solo leader settle. The gap shrank, metre by metre, until the breakaway cracked. At the Tour de France in 2019, on Alpe d'Huez, Jumbo-Visma, Ineos, and UAE were on the radio, all pulling in sync. The escapee came back before the summit, legs emptied by the wind and the relentless chase. But those moves required timing, sacrifice, and a shared belief that the soloist could be beaten. Against Pogacar, that unity never materializes. Teams hesitate, waiting for someone else to burn matches. By the time radios crackle with urgency, the gap is already a canyon. The only way to close it is to start early, build a rotating pace line across squads, and hold the speed, no matter who is in the wind. It means trusting rivals, risking your own leader, and riding on instinct, not hope. Course designers can add more technical sectors, force the race into chaos, or shorten the climbs. But unless the peloton learns to act as one, the outcome is settled before the real fight begins. The question hangs over every race. Will anyone step up, or will the field keep watching, frozen, while one rider rewrites the script? Every time Pogacar stamps on the pedals, hesitation ripples through the elite. Numbers don't lie. Rivals know the damage is coming, but the response never arrives in time. Right now, he's not just winning, he's reprogramming what is possible. The peloton waits, and the clock keeps ticking. What would you do?